Hi, Andrew Norton, Tell the Chef. I'm here to tell you how to build meals, how to put meals into your system. So if somebody phones you up, like to book a table for 15 people, no problem at all. Let me just set you up on an online pre-order service. So the first thing you do is obviously log in here, maybe take some details down on a pen and paper and do this later, or you can do it live whilst you're on the phone. Click here on meals, then we add new meal, this date just here, and we fill in these details. So the administrator name, let's just suggest that the administrator name is Paul Buckley. The administrator email is paul@mrbuckley.com, and then you need to confirm that that is indeed correct. paul@mrbuckley.com. The administrator phone number, you don't need to put anything in here, but if you do want to, you can put their phone number in here. Now this button here, the administrator is not dining. If the person who's booked the table is not going to be dining with their guests, it could be a PA booking for their department, then indeed you would click that button there. That means that the person would not be indeed asked to order their food, but would just be in charge of adding guests to the meal. Just here you would click meal name. So let's say it's Mr. Buckley's birthday. Now, when you do indeed add a meal's name, make sure it's something relevant. Make sure it's something that can be pre-filled into the email that is sent out to the guests. Because what's going to happen is they're going to be sent an email that says something like, "You have been invited to Mr. Buckley's birthday." Then we need to put the date in. So let's go for something like the 24th of November 2014. Arrival time. Now this is important. If you would like your guests to arrive before the meal, let's say the meal's 8 o'clock, we would then put 7:45 or whatever arrival time is relevant for them to arrive, and indeed the meal time then would be 8 o'clock. Remember, this is always in the 24-hour clock. Cut off. How far in advance of your meal would you like your pre-orders collected? This will set the reminders. This will also set the cut-off at which point the guests can no longer order. So we're going to set midnight 7 days before. Maximum number of guests. Let's say there's an area in the restaurant that can cater to 20 people. There we go. It's a 20-person area in your restaurant. And the menu, we added them earlier. So here is indeed Sophie's menu. I'm going to click this here. Shared drinks list. Individual drinks lists. There'll be sections training you how to use drinks later. So for the meantime, we'll leave those empty. Enable emails. If we untick this, no emails are going to be sent out until that is ticked. So once we click save, if that is ticked, then the system will start working and send an email initially to this person here, paul@mrbuckley.com. But if we keep it unticked, the booking is still in the system, but it is not yet live. So that could be somebody who is provisional and not confirmed. It could be a confirmed booking that hasn't paid a deposit, or it could be just a booking that we're not wanting to send emails out to. But here we're going to click enable emails. Disable reminder emails. This is if we don't want the system to send out more than one email. If we don't want to, for example, continue to remind the guests if they don't pre-order to indeed order their food, but I would keep that unticked. Disable free text comments from guests. Now, every time somebody orders their food, at the bottom of their menu, they will be asked for their dietary requirements. They can range from dairy-free to gluten-free, vegan to alliums, to all sorts of different dietary requirements. We also have a free text comment. So that is the guests that have a particular dietary requirement that isn't on our pre-filled form. It could be, "I don't like white onions." Be careful though, if you disable the free text comments from guests, they don't have that box. But if you don't disable it, they will have a box where they can put any dietary requirement or absolutely anything at all that they want to inform the restaurant of. We've seen people put in things like, "I'd like a taxi at 8 o'clock. We've seen people put in things like, "I don't want to sit next to Sarah because she always kicks me." So just be careful leaving a free text comment for your guests, because what often happens, they will fill it in unnecessarily. But if you do indeed want to be that subservient, you can indeed untick that box, and it will have a box at the bottom of the menu for them to be able to order their food. The rest of them are pretty obvious. Show prices, meal notes, archived. I'll go through a lot of these later, and then simply click save. That is now in the system. So when we go back to our meal screen, there will be the meal in there, but the reason it's not showing, it always caught me out there, is because at the top here we have our date range. So we want to see the date ranges from the 4th of April to the 4th of December. Indeed, when we search here, the meal will appear. And we have Mr. Buckley's birthday on the 24th of November 14 at 8 p.m. And that is your meal set up.